Good morning, everybody. If you could kindly take a seat so we could start our meeting. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is to approve the minutes from the November 13th, 2024 meeting. Can I make a motion for someone to approve the minutes? Thank you very much for Debbie and Jack. Any changes? Discussion? All right. All in favor? To approve? Anyone opposed? So moved. Thank you. And we're very fortunate for all of you residents in attendance today. We actually have a presentation this morning too. So we're going to start with the pickleball presentation, which I believe is going to be by Karen Coons. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I wouldn't call it a presentation.
All right. What do you want to call
Do
it?
you need this?
Yeah. I know.
It's on.
Oh, it's on.
It's on?
Okay.
Cool. The pickleball club would like to pay for and install electricity underneath the sunshades at the north courts on either end, so that we can also then install 2 more fans. We would purchase it ourselves. We have a licensed and insured electrician's bid in my hand, as well as the ability to purchase those 2 fans. So that's my presentation.
That was wonderful.
That works, Steve, right?
Karen, would you mind passing over the bid so everyone can take a look at it?
I just have 1 copy.
That's fine, we can pass it.
Karen, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Where are you running the electricity?
Yeah, there is already electricity. There is already 1 fan under each of the structures. We would be running the electricity from one side to the other and then installing the fan on the other side.
Would it be aerial?
They'll be underneath the shade
It would
structure.
be under the structure itself,
Yep.
not underground?
No.
Just so the residents know, they have acquired an estimate from Brian Hinman, a very well-known electrician in the area who does fine work. I know he does.
I know this goes back to you.
Thank you. Actually,
Well, you know, this is the first time we've been speechless.
I tend to do that to people.
Well, you've taken my breath away, and thank you for your presentation. I move that we let you proceed spending your money to do what you want to do.
All right.
Second.
Very good. I like that. Okay, is there any discussion? All right. And let's take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So move to be recommended to the Federation Board.
Terrific. So I have to wait for that approval and then I can move ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was painless, Karen.
Well, the definition of painless.
That was awesome. Wasn't that great, everybody? All right. Let's move on to our second mini presentation. And Mr. White from the Lawn and Bowling Club.
Good morning, thank you for your time. You have a copy of my notes actually, so it's kind of pointless me reading it all out, other than the basic need is for a sturdy shed for your roller. Dear old Hurricane Milton totally destroyed one shed that we replaced. Also, the cover that we had for the roller was blown away and was never found. So rather than replace it with a flexible one that could also be destroyed, we need to protect the roller, and so we would like to excuse me, permission from you to obtain a sturdy shed that's going to last a lifetime. Our intentions, the other thing is what's important about a shed, which you can normally buy these things online or have them delivered. The problem with it is that the roller is driven sideways. Think of your car. You drive your car forwards and backwards, but with the roller, it's sideways. And so, as a result, it's very wide and requires a shed with extremely wide doors, which usually is only available naturally on very oversized sheds. We don't need a 14 by 16 foot shed. We're also very conscious of making sure that the shed is compatible with what already exists. Our intention is to have one that will be, I passed the photograph around there. Can you see what I mean by it has to be driven in at ground level? No floors, no steps, and it requires that too. So as a result, we have a couple of very good carpenters in our team. They would like to build one, but to build it, as the picture at the top shows, will be compatible with what's already there. And it will be located the farthest away from the road, and so frankly it won't even be seen. So basically that's our request. We need permission to do so, to build it.
Where are you located?
Jack, use the mic.
Excuse me?
Where are you locating it?
Right at the end, if you can, from the road, you look across our green number 1, and there's an equipment shed, there's our club membership, and there's another equipment shed, and then there's the shuffleboard sheds. It will be farthest to, if you can imagine the path that goes around, you know where the gate is? It will be right at the end of that. Sorry, does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you lock your sheds? I just wonder.
Pardon?
Do you lock your sheds?
Yes.
Okay. And this one will be locked also?
Yes.
What I would suggest is you
Have Matt,
dredge the pond for the...
Oh, excuse me, one very, very important fact. We're going to pay for this shed. No cost to you. We pay for it completely. Underlined.
But the item, your roller shed that you lost probably is in the pond across the street.
And just so everybody is aware, including lawn bowling, we have a very extensive list of items we've submitted from an insurance standpoint. We will continue to wait and nag and monitor, but that is also something we have submitted for as well, so just so everybody knows.
So if we get the insurance back, the lawn bowling club would be reimbursed for whatever value the insurance puts on that loss.
It would be something I would work with the RFC and the board on. I think that would be fair and equitable based on cost of goods and some other things, but it would be something we would come back to. Now, we've also got the deductible. We don't know what's going to get approved yet. It's proving to be more of a challenge than I ever imagined dealing with the adjuster, and we spoke a little bit about it. But we will, Victoria and I have our homework. We have to basically isolate every single asset that was damaged or lost and then place it in a separate bucket which has its own deductibles and replacement values. So they're putting something back on us to make it move forward, and so we'll be tackling that. But in the meantime, the roller is the asset that the community provided, as well as partnering with lawn bowling, and they want to make sure they protect that. That's the quick version of that.
Yes.
Right.
Well, as the lawn bowling club is going to be paying and constructing it, and there's room to have it constructed, I would move we approve their request.
Prior to that, Mr. White, you stated that members of the lawn bowling club were going to build this?
Correct. We have a couple of good carpenters. It's a standard wooden framework.
How do you intend on securing it to the ground, since there won't be a floor or any kind of bottom to it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like the existing sheds, the ones that we recently purchased, they come with specially designed clamps that go over the framework, and they're hammered into the ground. These are the shed manufacturers, they call them hurricane protectors or special word. They are we don't make it, we will buy those and hammer it in.
And this would be an entirely wooden structure? Or are you going to use
a wooden framework with aluminum siding?
An aluminum roof?
Yes.
Okay.
Either that or tile, whatever's compatible with the shed next door.
Now,
We can do either.
I know some of the gentlemen he's talking about at the pickleball club. They are more than qualified
To do it.
to do it. If you're determined and you have the money coworkers to work. Building this kind of shed and nailing up aluminum is very simple to do. I would not, now clearly, if it turns out bad, I mean, if it's really an eyesore, we're gonna have,
Obviously.
no, obviously, you've gotta build it to a decent standard. But
standards.
in my opinion, if y'all are qualified to do that.
Well, where are we getting those
That's it.
standards?
That's it. Our intention is to make it very, very sturdy.
Eyes and what we see.
I
It's
don't
just a
think-
shed.
I understand that. I understand what they're trying to do. I applaud them for raising the money and wanting to do this by themselves. Is this coming like in a box, like build the shed out of the box? Or are they, or are
I mean,
you?
like a ready-made kit.
Yeah.
They do have them, but again, because of the peculiar situation of requiring a 7-foot wide door, there's no such thing as a standard kit that does that.
Okay.
But it will be compatible with the sheds that are already
Absolutely. We can paint them any colour, the matching colour to the shed next door.
So it'll look just like the other sheds.
Absolutely.
And if they're capable of building it to look like
And-
the other
and-
sheds,
and
I
you-
wouldn't have a problem.
And
Matt,
you're certainly invited to see it and inspect it prior when we've finished.
Yeah, Matt,
Make
how
your
do we do
opinion
that?
I'm gonna do my best to read the room and pick up on all the vibes I'm seeing, feeling. My question, and this is a question, this is, because ultimately I see some objections and feel where people have a little anxiety. Is there a way to buy the proper size shed from a manufacturer and then modify the front with the skill sets of your team to do a different, to like basically build a different kind of door on the front end, but just have the basic structure? I'm not saying that's what you would want, I'm just trying to.
That's a very, we've done a brief look at that, but I agree. The alternative could be is to get one sized appropriately and then reconstruct the door frame to do so. Yes, we would consider that very much so.
And
In
I
fact,
don't
we would
know
look
if
into
that's what
it.
anybody would want, but it feels like there's some anxiety on volunteers building a structure. From some, others are comfortable with it, but maybe middle ground.
Well, Matt, couldn't you just approve? If we approve it, couldn't we approve it that we have to approve the final construction?
Yes,
Which would make it very
certainly up
easy.
to that, yes.
So we would have to approve the board or Vesta would have to approve the final construction, which would be very easy upon approval of final construction by the Federation Board or Vesta. I don't care which one.
We can definitely do that.
That way, if we don't like
Everybody's
what they
comfortable with.
build, they're gonna have to rebuild it.
That's right. We accept that.
Okay. So the motion will be for
Approval for them
approval
to,
for the Lawn and Bowling Club to purchase, construct the shed to hold the roller with final inspection by Vesta to go to the Federation Board for approval.
Certainly accept that, certainly.
and I would second that motion.
All right, very good. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Very good, Mr. White. We will pass that on as a recommendation to the Federation Board now.
Thank you for your consideration and your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another very well presented.
As long as
Very
you
nice.
Bring your pocketbook and we'll listen.
David,
If you got money, honey, we're here for
David,
Mr. White.
Mr. White, you were going to, per your note, introduce your replacement.
Oh, yes, I'm certainly, I'm really pleased to. I just don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh, you're
I
fine.
take great pleasure. My tenure, as the note said, as president expires in 2 weeks' time. I will still be on the board and so shouldn't ever be required for any reason. But very proudly, would like to introduce our new president, Jeannie Steinhell.
Wonderful, Jean. Glad you're taking that
Jeannie's
on.
going to do a good job.
Well, we thank you for your tenure, Mr. White.
Thank you.
Very much so. All volunteerism is wonderful, and we thank you for that. I'm sure that your club members appreciate it. Your tenure also.
Thanks for doing it.
All right, Mr. White, thanks.
Appreciate that.
All right, and good luck, Ginny.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to project updates. Good Good
morning.
morning,
everyone.
Victoria.
So I have some exciting news. I'm sure everyone is aware that the pool paver project for the main clubhouse outdoor pool is nearing completion because we've had a lot of people watching us. A lot of people watching. Actually, I had somebody in a lawn chair inside the hallway.
That's dedication.
We are serious. It is nearing completion. We're doing the final, couple releveling, inspections, walkthroughs, the final push. They're about 90% completed with the go-backs that I gave them earlier in the week with the team. And we're doing a little bit of freshening of our landscaping and things like that. So we are planning to open the beginning of next week. Also doing some preventative pool maintenance that we normally can't do because everyone's swimming in it. So we're doing a couple things in-house and we'll be getting that open the beginning of next week for you guys.
We'll send that official notice out.
The official bulletin breaking news will be sent out in the e-blasts and things of that nature as soon as we get confirmation from the vendors that we're all still going in the right direction. But no unforeseens right now.
Victoria, when will it be sealed or will it not be sealed?
It will be sealed, and we are going to wait until after season so that we can let everyone enjoy everything, and that way it can have its curing time, because it does need to cure. It is fresh pavers, and then we will have the sealing process probably in the beginning of April, mid-April. It really depends on the weather, and if our snowbirds are, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say snowbirds anymore.
Sure.
Seasonal residents are still with us. Early April, it's a bad one.
I've heard from the community nothing but compliments on the looks
Fantastic,
of
yeah.
it. So great job in getting it done.
It has been a team effort, and I appreciated everyone's support. In RFC, the board, to make a long-term solution with our pool. It is one of the most heavily used and loved amenities, and it is definitely looking beautiful. We're very resort. I told Tasha she's fancy now. Her pool looks all fancy out there. Yeah, so we're moving in the right direction for everybody. Also, I'm sure everyone's aware, the outdoor pool lighting project, it's been a little bit painful. But the outdoor pool deck of the main clubhouse is completed. The south clubhouse is about 90% completed, and that is the county required lighting that we have to be up to code. And we are nearing completion for that so that we can formally apply for night swimming. So that should be coming very soon.
Has anybody tried to skinny dip right now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I caught Matt before he made it out there.
Okay.
And
Saved
us.
for the completion back.
Question on your lighting.
Mhm.
I have noticed on social media,
Oh, yeah.
people from Andover A
Right.
complaining about the lighting of the pool is now basically shining in their windows. I don't know the facts surrounding it, but are the lights that bright?
Well, we went from 1972 lights to this century lights, so they're pretty good.
The lumen requirements.
And the lumen requirements actually required by the county are what we were trying to meet, which we did. And so LEDs do have a brighter, more, I don't want to say clean light, white light, and they do project better. But we have worked through some kinks with the lighting timer because the electrician had left the timer, and that was mainly the concern, is that the lights stayed on overnight one night, unbeknownst to us, because the electrician was installing and kind of tweaking at night, and he forgot to turn the timer. So
Yes.
we did adjust that.
So we've been given the keys, and we'll continue to, when I say the keys, we've been given the keys to be able to adjust the sensors and the timing of the lights
Mhm.
because they are quite bright. And we have some flexibility moving forward with our residents, and we'll do what we can to
We're still
accommodate.
tweaking.
And I would be lying, I would expect some folks near the South Club as it gets going to also shed some concern, but we'll be able to accommodate and kind of modify what we do, and I'll
So
kind of leave it at that.
with the illuminants, do they really light up the pond in Andover A?
You can see quite a bit
You
out.
can now see,
Yeah, they're
like,
they're
from
powerful
into
lights.
to the end, like you're supposed to.
And I'm gonna come out and say something generically. Once we have the permit for night swimming, we have the permit for night swimming.
That's coded, what does that mean?
No, that's good. That means it's available for evening swimming. And also, if it's projecting light in the positive sense, that also helps illuminate areas where wildlife or people that shouldn't be wandering in backyards is a very positive thing also.
Yes, and that is a good point, that having light is not a bad thing.
Nope.
It's just an adjustment. I know how much we love change around here, so
Yes.
Yes.
we're gonna be okay.
Well, thank you very much for getting that almost completed and ready to go.
Yep.
So we appreciate that part.
And that's all I have for right now. That's
Question.
the biggies.
Can we ask questions?
You have a question?
I have a question.
It's not about landscaping?
No, they trimmed the friggin' trees.
Come on, what do you got?
Come on down, Lucy, you got it.
Come on, you know you gotta
I
use
just
the
got a
mic.
question. Can you hear me? I just have a question for you.
I
She's
can
got
hear
a
you.
microphone.
All right.
Thank you. I just wanted to know, how long are the lights on for? How late?
I wanted to know.
Oh, see, great mind.
It's a little bit after the clubhouse closes,
That's
is
like-
when they're supposed to be off, so that security can walk and clear
Like
the
10
pool.
o'clock
Like,
then.
Is it 10
yeah,
o'clock?
so like 10:30-ish, they're gonna be off so that there's time for the security to walk and make sure there's no one in the pool or et cetera. So it's just around closing time. Again, it was just an issue with the timer. The electrician was tweaking the system and they forgot to hit the timer back on. So they were unaware
So
that they left it on.
they were on later than 10?
They were on one night, yes.
Okay.
Good question.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And we'll tweak it as the time changes, as seasons change. We change the lighting timer. So that's kind of one of those things that it's depending on time of year. It'll be a little bit early, a little bit later.
Okay.
But around closing of clubhouse is when it will be off.
Okay,
Ray?
thank you.
Hey, Ray Shaw, did you hear the time that they said it closed?
We're warning you.
10 to 10:30? Right, you gotta get out of there by then. All right. Okay. All right, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Victoria, we appreciate it. All right, we're looking to 2025 already, and our next meeting date will be on Wednesday, January 15th at 9:30, right here in the beautiful card room. And now we have open forum.
They're gonna have math.
Matt?
Oh, I am so sorry. Matt,
I wasn't
he
gonna
wasn't
complain
even-
and interject.
He wasn't even gonna stop me.
You keep rolling.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, Matt.
no, it's okay.
We do want to know the
Not the first
report.
time,
We
it'll be
want
the
to know.
last. All right, so I'm not gonna go over spa and fitness numbers, although it was a great month for spa and salon, 25,000. I would like to highlight the food and beverage operation. The team worked extremely hard to try to quote unquote make up for October and the hurricane month. So they did $244,000 in the month of November, which is 10% year-over-year growth. And I think in the board meeting, I looked over at Jack because he was a part of all this with the board. We have the other board members that have been a part of this and former RFEC members. The growth stemmed from the Paradise Palm Bar sales. $19,075 was attributed to that. And so we had talked repeatedly about, will it cannibalize? Is it an amenity it's offered? How will this play out? And that was a great example for November of how our residents utilize the service. So that was really neat to see. The perk had 3% year-over-year growth, but again, it was really cool to see kind of some of the hard work that everybody had put in planning. It was a painful 4 years for a number of us, but again, it got done, and now we're starting to see the dividends of that. Guest passes 9% year-over-year growth. Victoria touched on the projects, the shows. Scott and team have done a phenomenal job. I think we're actually about $73,000 to $74,000 net positive on the shows. The second shows that were added, which is phenomenal for the community, that'll hit fourth quarter, so I'm excited to get the financials in the fourth quarter. In addition to that, the team will be rolling out some food and beverage dining events in between, some special themed events, so we'll have a matinee, and then we'll have a post-matinee food option. And so if you're going to the show in the evening, you can kind of come to that as well for your dinner. So we're excited about that. So we've got 4 in the works. Alex is looking at something. 4 dining, yes? She's making, 3? Okay, 3. So we've got 3 special food and beverage events, and we'll continue to modify as we go forward with that. I won't list you. I think you all have flyers on your table of all the special events and activities that are coming. Tram services, 2,800 miles driven, residents using the tram 700, gate operations 8,200 phone calls. The notables were considerably just wellness checks and all reported were positive. We're in the final stages of decaling. In fact, after yesterday's decal, we had a woman that came in using the old decal, just happened to be there at the wrong time, no offense to her. They were doing decal day, and Pete marches over to the car and says, "Ma'am, let me replace your decal for you while you're here. I'm just getting air in my tire. Let me get a decal for you." And he ends up running it, and she then says she moved out. And so he scraped that decal off and did the polite bye-bye. So it's one of the reasons we do the decal shifting. So on to the next. So we have a couple stories like that. Sometimes they yell at Pete, but he's a lot bigger than me, so he can handle himself.
I know you are working on insurance, specifically the tennis court. Are we going to be able to at least take down some of the fencing so it doesn't look as bad? The tornado struck it before we get the settlement from the insurance company?
I have 24-hour breaking news to you. So the answer is yes. Actually discussed yesterday in our board session, and the answer is yes, we're going to be able to take that down. Victoria reached out to the vendor. I don't know if they've gotten back to you on timing.
He confirmed that he is going to coordinate and see when the equipment will be available, but it is on his radar to be done as soon as he can.
Yeah, so of all the items we've submitted, which I think were over 100 for the hurricane, we received word back on 5. Tennis courts happen to be
5 whole answers to 100.
Tennis courts happen to be one of them, and we got some favorable news with that. So we're going to move ahead and get the fences down. We'll communicate out to the community, by the way. We will take down the nets. It is not an open court for anybody to play with, so we'll try to rope it off and everything. But to answer your question, yes, we would like it down as well.
Well, good for y'all. That's some good news.
That is very good.
Woke me up. We running low on ink and we don't have these dark enough that I can read it. What's up with that? Let's get to the real stuff.
I would like to make a motion to increase the ink budget for next year's.
So moved. What happened to the ink? Is it just me?
What happened to the ink? The octopus was tired. I don't know. Just,
I need answers.
we can make that happen. Speaking of answers, just so everybody is aware, if you come to the board meetings, we have requested our vendor take back the goosenecks. We're going to get a credit for that, and we're going to be able to add in a couple more handhelds, which is why you don't see the goosenecks here. We're kind of over it. Now, the system, from what we're understanding, it can take at most about 5 of the handhelds before it kind of overloads it. I'm not interested, unless the board and RFC want me to, buying a new system that can potentially take up to 7 or 8 right now. Let's just get something that works in the meantime, and we can reevaluate it. But just to let everybody know, we're over it.
So far, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
To appease Mr. Blankenship, the minutes are done in a bold ink.
Yes.
Is there any reason your report couldn't be done in the same bold
Yes.
print?
Only well, I'll just be honest with you. We wanted to piss Terry off this morning. You got me.
Mission accomplished. But that would be a suggestion, is to just do it in a bold type ink.
So moved.
Thank you, Kevin. That's the sweetest thing you've ever done for me.
No, it's
Isn't
not,
it wonderful
Jerry.
that these are the problems that we're having in this community? That's just wonderful.
Yeah, with our mature group. This is the big boy taking.
Anything else, Matt, for your report? All right. Now we can move on to open forum. Anybody got stuff to say?
Before you go to the floor,
Yeah.
I would like to bring up a concern I have to you as chairman of the RFEC, is we do have a member of the RFEC who has missed at least 3 meetings in a row, and probably is not here more often than is here. And I would like to request, and have the RFEC request, that the board address that with that individual, and look at possibly replacing that individual, because basically without that individual being here, the residents that he represents have no say. And if you want to serve on the RFEC, then you should serve on the RFEC. It's one meeting a month that you have to go to. And I don't think it's appropriate that you have a member of the RFEC that doesn't attend the RFEC meetings and gives no reason. It just says, I will not be there.
I appreciate your concern, Jack, and I have well aware that the attendance has not been any reason at all. You're right, it's just we're not going to show up, so I'm well aware of it, and we are going to be discussing that on Monday at our workshop meeting. The board will be discussing that, yeah. So thank you, and we do have another member who isn't here for health reasons. So was notified well in advance, and that's a very acceptable reason. And Richard is in another country, so he couldn't be here, and that's why Stephen Harnois, our board representative from District 8 is here. So again, excellent reasons being not able to attend the meeting. So the board will be addressing that on Monday. All right, thank you. Now open forum?
Thank you, Jack.
All right. Sir, can you please come to the microphone? And I do this for all the residents so they can hear properly. Thank you, sir.
My name's John Petrush. I'm having trouble with this. My name's John Petrush, and I'm with the, I'm in the Portsmouth COA. I'm also involved in the Cornhole Club, so my questions revolve around two things. There was a committee formed to do an evaluation of all the facilities, recreational use. And I think I brought this up at the last Federation Town Hall meeting. There's been no disclosure on what that committee is doing. I don't see anything at this meeting where it's even been addressed. So my question is, where is that committee? What is their current status, and how is that going to affect what we're doing as a cornhole club?
So John, we have addressed that at the previous meeting. Okay.
No, you didn't address it. You said to watch the videos of the meetings. That's what you told me. So
actually, I think I specifically,
sir,
please don't talk over me. This is an RFEC meeting. We've had a wonderful meeting.
This is an open forum.
Sir, you're continuously talking over me. So I'm going to appreciate if you would please let me have the chance to speak.
Okay.
Okay.
Listening.
This is a very calm, we love this meeting. Look how much fun we were having today. So I want you to just take a breath, okay, and just relax. This committee, okay, which is the promotion committee, the community promotion committee, there was a hurricane, okay? And Matt talked about the tennis courts, okay, and how the fence was destroyed and it actually caused more damage to the courts. There is no way that committee, okay, can move forward with any kind of information until we even know what the insurance company is going to do in regards to that. There is no information that can go forward. So there is no meeting, okay, until we get that information. And then the committee will preside and we will have a meeting and discuss our options at a future meeting.
Okay, so I think that should go into the minutes of the meeting, that the committee has stalled and nothing will happen until you get a better handle on what's going on with the hurricane. Is that a fair assessment? Because I've seen nothing in the minutes that have addressed that, other than what we've talked about. And if I sound like I'm frustrated, it's not that I'm trying to cause tension at these meetings, but I'm trying to get an answer, and every time I ask the question, I just get the same answer. And
it's a very valid answer. Do you understand that point? About in regards to the insurance company?
I understand, and I don't appreciate the way you talk down to me.
Sir, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to ask you, do you understand the answer? That's all. Because this will be the second meeting you're addressing it.
You asked me to come to the meetings to see what's going on, and this is an open forum, and I know my 3 minutes are almost up. But I did have one more question, and it's probably more for Matt. The Cornhole Club has been playing in the grass, which was great. We're glad that we've been given that opportunity to continue our club. The only question I had was, we were given the advice that it was going to be sprayed for fire ants and for other bugs while we were out there. Vesta would do that. I don't know if it's happened or not.
It's happened.
Has it? Okay.
Yes. Now, if there are other instances where if the ants have come back and taken over, it's just a simple communication with us. We're more than happy to address it with the landscaper, but not a problem.
Okay.
But the
yeah,
answer is yes.
It hasn't, I asked Penny about it, and she said she didn't know whether it was actually done, so I was
It
just
was done
following
the
up.
day, it was, actually, it was done within the 24 hours it was requested.
Oh, okay, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, that's it.
Before you leave the mic,
Yeah.
the question was raised, and you can correct me if I am wrong. The question was raised is what are we going to do regarding the pickleball courts going
I didn't say that.
forward? No, let me finish. Going forward, what were we going to do about the pickleball courts if the courts at the South Club were removed? The last I checked, the courts at the South Club have not been removed. No action has been taken to remove those courts. So the committee that is looking at how can we resolve the issue, because the pickleball club told us what they believed was the need for the number of pickleball courts going forward, and how would we meet that number if the pickleball courts at the South Club were removed. Because those courts have not been removed, and until there even a plan to remove them, we're putting the cart before the horse. Yes, the removal of those has to coincide with what we're going to do in the future to make sure there's sufficient courts. So I don't understand your concern about what the committee is doing when nothing has changed within the community as it stands today.
Well, my concern is, the last time I was here, I put together a presentation for us to address an area where our members congregate before the Cornhole Club actually starts their play. They do their check-in in front of a shed. It's very sandy soil, it's very unstable soil, and I asked if we could pay to have concrete put in that area, and I was put on hold until the outcome of this committee, which is now not doing anything, which is understandable. They're not doing anything, so now we're still stalled with the same sandy area, and I get the tennis courts, or we're not in the tennis courts right now. I get that. But from what I'm hearing, it won't be long before we could be back in the tennis courts, even if it's unfenced, because cornhole doesn't need fences. The cornhole bags don't fly out of the court like tennis balls do. So that's my only question is, we were put on hold by this committee until the outcome of that committee made a decision. That's my interest. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. If your specific issue is a cement slab at the tennis courts for you doing check-in and check-out, that is not the way I understood your question at the town hall or today. So I'm sorry I misunderstood what your question was, but until they get the tennis court issue resolved, I apologize for the inconvenience of doing the check-in and check-out with the sand. But let us get the tennis court issue resolved, because they may have to be repaving the tennis court because there's damage to the court and stuff. So at least let the tennis court issue get resolved and see where we're going to go forward, because then the committee who's looking at the amenities, including the tennis courts and pickleball, can decide what they want to do go forward.
Sure, I get that, and I understand that. And I didn't specifically address the cement at the last meeting or at this meeting, because I was more concerned, because the outcome of what comes out of that committee was supposed to be determining what we do next. And without that committee, we're still in limbo.
But you're playing, are we correct to assume that you are playing cornhole right now?
Yes, we are. We were
Okay.
down, well, because of the hurricane. That's, understandable. That's not a big issue.
Right.
But we still have the concern,
But where are you playing right now?
In the grass.
Okay, but you're able to play and everybody can fulfill their duties in the club to play a game?
Yes, but we
Okay.
still have an unanswered question because you
Okay,
put
sir,
us on
now,
hold.
okay, but now, I explained to you, and Jack tried to explain to you, please, you need to have patience. Okay, we have a lot of things going on that need to be addressed first. So you are able to play cornhole right now, and you're
Sure.
playing on the grass. So I'm so happy that your members can play. So until we at least have what's going on with the insurance company and the tennis course addressed, we cannot answer any other questions about it. Okay?
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm totally understanding of that. I only wanted to see something in the minutes that says, this is the status, this is where we're at. Why can't we just do that? I mean, it helps to be.
And we've done it.
It's-
It's in the minutes, they are gonna discuss it, we're up to speed.
Yep,
Thank you
Well,
very
that's what
much.
that's what I'm here for.
okay.
I know.
And now you have firsthand knowledge of all of it. You're up to date, more than anybody else except for those in the room. So
Yes.
you're well aware now.
Good job.
All right? Thank you, sir.
Oh, come on, Ray, give it up.
All right. Anybody else? No? Okay. With that being said, could I please have someone make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you very much, Debbie. All right, all in favor? Thank you, everyone. It's so always nice to see you here. We hope you enjoy our RFBC meeting. Thank you and have a wonderful day. We'll see you Friday. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.